Welcome back to the Wolf of Dubai Fintainment, financial entertainment, guys. Today, only today, we are talking about the topic that I look forward for a very long time, because just now Neuralink, a company by Elon Musk, just released the first information about their brain connecting device to computer power. Super interesting. I just watched 3.5 hours live stream and summarize it for you. So enjoy this vlog. Hit and smash the subscribe button if you are new here. And thank you for coming back. If you like the videos, thumbs up, because this brings me very much up in the YouTube videos and is good for this channel to produce daily vlogs. And finally, let's go. So Neuralink is a company established around 3 years ago and run by a group selected by Elon Musk, which of course is the very known pioneer in technology, reusable rockets, electric cars, and so on. So he take the biggest challenges known to mankind and try to solve them to bring us forward. And this Neuralink, or just have a look on the trailer. Okay, so basically they are working on a device that connects your brain to a computer, okay? And we will look into their product and what is the procedure to get one implanted, what this device can do, how far they are, and so on and so forth. So let's go first into the vision of the company. The vision of the company is basically to first, of course, use this device and connect the brain and ultimately control synapses in our brain to help people that are disabled or have paralyzed legs or arms. It will help people with autism, also with epilepsy. This is the main vision and target in short term. But ultimately, it's a symbiosis with artificial intelligence, so to upload us with or basically to have control over machines and computers just with the power of our brain and our thoughts. And this problem obviously is very hard, because you know the electrons that are getting sent to the millions of synapses in our brain have to be understandable and then translated into computer language, this 101010 and so on. And then you know this is the main problem to solve, and they just making tests with rats, animals, where they basically read their minds, the movements. When the rat goes for food, they know, okay, the this happens in their brain when they go for the food, and then they can translate that to different kind of things in the computer. So the ultimate goal is to create a device that is bi-directional, so not only we can read the mind, but we also can control the mind. And this is basically sending vision back to our brain, or movements or taste or touch back to our brain. This of course helps the people who are maybe have no vision anymore, or can not feel anything anymore, like in their legs or in their hands. So this is how they envision the procedure. So basically they will open a slightly piece of your skull. It will be around 8 millimeters, and so you don't need even a stitch after that, because it will be so thin and small that, and everything is wireless obviously, to have the best experience. And then they place this threads, they call them, inside your brain. It's made by a computer, a robot that they designed for this work, because they don't want to hurt any vessels, blood vessels in the brain, obviously, because this is very critical. So a robot put this threads into the brain, and they are next to synapses and gather the electrical information of them, and that's what they send basically to the device. So basically your computer can understand your thoughts. So how this device works? So basically imagine that you thinking about, I want to speak with my daughter, okay? So in your brain there's some electricity jumping from the synapses and telling and making like a pattern that the computer understands and basically translate it to a phone call to your daughter, for example. You know what I mean? Or they show you a picture of your daughter. Whatever you're thinking, this computer will be able to understand and translate it into your brain. And we have already such a layer in our life, which is basically our phone or our laptop, but obviously it's very, very slow, considering that you have to first think, then you have to type with your hands, and then you see the result, and then you compromise, you see it, which is quite quick, and then you think about it, and this is, you know, a matter of seconds or minutes or whatsoever. But imagine that this can be done like it happens all in your brain immediately. This would be a revolution, of course, but Elon Musk again expresses that, you know, first goal is really to understand and to cure a disease, because there's so less treatment options for disease like epilepsy or paralyzed people, as well as autism. So they call the device BMI, Brain Machine Interface, and their timeline is basically that beginning of next year, 2020, they want to get the FDA, the Federal Drug Administration, approval to start with clinical tests with humans. Obviously, these patients will be people that want to do this and that don't have any other chance and want to try this new technology and so on. So this is quite soon actually, and you know, Elon Musk says in the presentation that all this purpose of this presentation is basically to attract new talent to the company, because they are moving so fast, they're getting bigger, and they need good smart people around to create this masterpiece of technology which bring humankind forward, because you know, the general topic, Elon Musk in AI, he thinks that AI can be very dangerous. I mean, that's clear that AI, if it's getting out of hand, can be very dangerous if it's further developed. So it would be of advantage if the human gets half a cyborg and have this opportunity to think and to think fast like a computer. So to develop something, and basically together with the machines. So talking about further about this product, basically they explain why they have to actually go inside your head, inside your skull, because the threads that are inside your skull will be placed much less than a millimeter next to your synapses to gather all the information, and this cannot be done by a device that, you know, is somewhere outside your head or some wearables or whatsoever. So that's why they have to actually be so close to your brain. And on the other hand, they also, by developing the product, have a couple of, let's say, standards. For one, it should be easy to use. You know, you should come to get the device within a day. Don't stay. Don't like have a full brain operation, surgery. But it's super easy to install. Then you will basically have an app to train the system, and then you have enjoying the system by its full capacity. And it should have the bandwidth of controlling vision, lots of information, so it should last also decades. So it has to be a very robust device. That's what they are talking about at the next step. Finally, they tell you the name of the product. It will be N1, consistent of a receiver, sensor, and so on. And basically then a surgeon comes on stage and explain, you know, that number one is for sure the safety that they prioritize first. But just one more thing to the product. So basically you will have an app where you train the device that, you know, for example, you put up your hand high, and then you train it that you just put your hand high, you thought about it, so they will know, okay, this signal from this specific individual brain was hands high. So you train the system like you would train to play piano, so the system know exactly what you are thinking and can translate this information into data and back to your brain. So then they will go very, very in depth into the product and very technical, but then they start to talk about analog pixel, which basically means that they record synapses and the signals, and they can be different from all the different synapses. So they have to see a pattern, because different synapses react differently to one movement. So they create this algorithm that see what's happening really in the brain and translate into computer code. So the computer code then can be used to, you know, move arms, trigger some nerves, and so on. So for disease, as we said, it's very, very important to understand what exactly is the brain thinking and which synapses are doing what. Then they going basically into the depth of vision and touch, that they have to understand if you touch here, what happens in your brain, and if you touch here, what's happened in the other part of your brain. So if once they understood this, as well as vision, what's happened in the brain if you see a lion, then, you know, they could reproduce this as a code, a signal, and can put this back to the person. So a person that cannot move, for example, could feel touch and could see again if they are blind. And this would be so revolutionary that it's almost hard to believe, but in the end, all what we produce are signals up here in our brain, and that they translate into code and translate back. So there's a lot of things, especially the bi-directional. So either way, transformation can be transferred. This is very important to create the full experience of Neuralink N1. So today's topic was quite complex, but I hope you enjoyed, and let me know what you think. I think it's revolutionary, very, very exciting what will come next year from Neuralink team. I like the presentation of the team. It was technical, but not too technical. It's quite successful. If we bring it down, summarize it, they basically implant a product next to your head and basically put the threads inside your synapses next to them to gather information and signals, translate them into computer language, and then you can basically control computers and parts and machines and so on with your thoughts, and other way around. You know, all the surroundment of our world can be translated back to our brain, which will be, you know, enhancing for all the people that are unfortunately to experience this world like us, like normal human being is designed for. So very exciting. Let me know what you think. Would you get the N1? I think I will rather maybe wait for the N2 or N3 version. They make clear that 2020, when they start to put human clinical tests, that will start with spinal cord injured people that have problems with movement, and they don't have, you know, any other treatments options anymore. So, you know, this will be the first person to experience this kind of technologies. It will be super safe. The surgery will be done by a robot. So even the robot is so safe that they saying that it tracks human heart and breathement. So because the brain is moving during that like a microscopic part of a millimeter, so all this can be considered during the surgery, which will take a couple of hours, and then you go home, then you train via your app, and then you are in the full experience of Neuralink. So very exciting. I hope you enjoyed. Smash the like button, smash the subscribe button. See you tomorrow. I have so many things to talk about, so stay tuned, and don't forget, the grass is greener on the other side. Ciao.